Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Mark. I am the stock market jobber. I'm also a former institutional trader. I was the head of trading at three different money managers. I oversaw trading of different types of hedge funds and various strategies. I was also traded directly for Steve Cohen and Mario Gabelli, are two of the best money managers. So I decided I want to teach people about trading and how to make money. And I suppose that's why you're here, because you want to learn about trading and make money. Anyway, I just want to spend a minute or two here on Microsoft, because the company released earnings this morning that were, at first glance, pretty bad. They increased their revenue, but they made less net income. So that could be a sign that the company is becoming less efficient. But what I wanted to point out is this, right? Notice how where we found a bottom this morning, okay? The same place we found a bottom 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago. So a lot of times when a stock gets down to a former bottom, it finds support again. This is what we call market memory. So it's not a coincidence that it got down there. It's an important short-term level. But I want to show you something else here. When a company or when a stock has a big move on the opening or on the close, I'm sorry, or on the opening, and it's an overreaction, that reversal tends to start around like 10:30 in the morning. So in other words, at first glance, the Microsoft numbers look really bad, but I guess they're not as bad as they appeared because the stock is way off its lows. So this is yesterday, and this was the close. This is where we opened today. Now notice how right around 10 o'clock in the morning, we started to reverse. So my experience has been is that when you have a big move on the open, if it's an over exaggeration, the trend starts to turn around maybe 10 or 10:30 in the morning. And there's a reason for this. People sell, but then you have all these institutions that are looking at Microsoft and they say, "You know what? These numbers are not as bad as they first appeared." So by the time they finish their analysis, it's usually around 10 in the morning, and that's when they go in and start buying it. So if you're looking to trade a big move on the open, if it's going to reverse, it generally happens around mid morning, and that's the case here. I also want to point out this too, how the shares ran into resistance at the same level that there were support back here. So there are people who bought the stock here yesterday that are disappointed because the stock is down so much, and they tell themselves, "Man, I want to get out. I made a mistake." But here's the thing: I don't want to lose any money, so I'm going to sell it at the same price I bought it at. And they place their sell orders at the same level they bought at. So there tends to be resistance at former support levels. So remember, there tends to be resistance at former support levels because of buyer's remorse. And if there's a really big move and it's an over exaggeration on the open, the reversal generally starts around mid morning, right? If the news is as bad as it seems, it's not going to reverse, or maybe it's even going to go lower. But my experience has been if you get these big moves on the open and there's going to be a reversal, they tend to start around mid morning because that's when people have had time to digest the news and see if it's maybe not as bad or as good as it first seemed. Okay, that's all. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.